Today we're visiting the Audubon Aquarium in New Orleans. There's only about 16 AZA accredited aquariums in the entirety of the southern United States, and this is one of them. This place is home to 3,600 animals and represents over 250 different species from across the entire world. The Audubon Nature Institute is known for its conservation and rescue efforts, so that leaves us with a lot to learn and see. But we certainly won't get any of that by staying here at the sanctuary, so let's go.
Wow, that's a nice jellyfish.
Just a reminder, this is the second part of the Audubon series, so if you haven't seen the Insectarium, you need to go watch it to make sure you know where we're picking up. So we finished the insect side, and now we are going to the aquarium. Let's see what they got here. And what better way to start the aquarium off with the first tank being the South American sea nettles. We all know about jellyfish, but I bet you don't know what it takes to keep these guys alive. They have to be kept in these specialized environments called chrysal tanks. But more on that later, because there's a lot of jellyfish in this place. What's he doing? I certainly did not expect the first thing I see to be this American albino alligator, but it was. Not only is the albino trait rare enough, this guy's also retained some of his melanistic components, so you can still see parts of him that are, the original coloration. This retained pigmentation was super unique to see with his bright blue eyes. I love alligators, and hopefully one day the sanctuary would have grown large enough to where we could have some of these guys ourselves. That means you should subscribe. Like if you're not subscribed, you should subscribe, right now. Do it for him. Anyways, on a completely 180 thought, you gotta appreciate the effort that goes into the scape of this place. Literally plants connecting everything. That's a lot of babies indeed. Craziest fact I learned about these guys while I was here is they actually start chirping before they have even hatched. Like that little noise they make. And honestly, I kind of wish I was the baby alligators because their next door neighbor was a diamondback terrapin. The coolest thing about these guys is they're the only North American turtle that will spend their entire lives in brackish water, meaning but it's kind of like a mix of salt and fresh water. Like they straight up have salt glands that allow them to live in salty environments. But wait, he kind of looks lightweight. Fish. Being from Louisiana, I absolutely love these guys. Plus, you gotta really admire the effort and dedication put into this tank. I mean, it just looked incredible. Gotta love that crawdaddy love. That catfish, man. If I had to take an educated guess, I would guess this is their river monster tank, assuming, there's this giant catfish and this cool little spotted gar who came up to the glass to say hi. Yeah, I mean, this tank was so much bigger than I could even elaborate on, and real plants and everything. I mean, it's just crazy.
Hey, who is this guy?
Where did he come from? After getting interrupted by this rude river cooter, I got to reading some of the signs, and I realized spotted gar have been around for almost over 100 million years. Like, these guys have changed very little, and they swim with the dinosaurs. This has to be one of the coolest turtle species I have ever seen. I've always loved the ringed turtle pattern, but with this little spiky shells, they look super, super cool. So, of course, again, after reading the signs, I found out they were ringed map turtles, and, I was interested. I was curious about how much these guys run on the market, and God, no! I mean, that's a whole rent payment.
Imagine just being a fish.
Just being able to chud all day.
Yeah, him especially.
I actually knew of these guys before coming to this aquarium, so it was cool to see something I was relatively familiar with. But what I wasn't familiar with was how crazy their colors can be. I had never seen such a wide variety and selection of different morphs and colors of these sunfish, and I thought this was super, super cool. But, I mean, other than that, these are pretty much your generic fish. And the only cool thing is, the males do all the parenting, so I guess that's a fun fact. Oh, and there was also this really cool bowfish that I completely missed until now. And then across from that was this absolute behemoth of a dinosaur tank. Not only was this tank tens of thousands of gallons, it was filled with all of these prehistoric fish. God, look at this guy's nose. I mean, they had everything from turtles to sturgeons to paddlefish to oars to like carp, like just all kinds of different things. It's super, super cool to see this mix of fish because it really is a look at what, are the monstrous rivers looks like back then. Except probably the fact that every single fish in this tank would have been probably 10 times the size they are now if it was back with the dinosaurs.
All the animals here at Aura Farming. Real talk.
Speaking of Aura Farming, look at this guy. They certainly got me with this because when I entered the aquarium, I did not expect to see a birds of prey exhibit. I mean, this hawk was just posted up right at the entrance. Then they had this Baltimore Oriole, which, this is what the team is named after.
Oh, they have a little ball.
Yep, that was the first thing I noticed in this tank. I could not for the life of me find the turtle in this tank, but what I did find were all these ducks. What even is that, bro? Yeah, so this is a northern hogsucker, and their whole job is exactly what you're seeing. They sit here and flip rocks to find their food. And just when you thought the birds were done, you turn the corner and there's this barred owl. I will definitely be doing some off-cam research about owls, because this is definitely a dream species of mine. Unfortunately, it's really quite common for these birds to be hunted by, just random people. They are also one of the primary species affected by habitat loss in, your wooded and forest areas. And shout out to all my people from Louisiana that drew all these ducks. They look cool.
That freaks me out.
Yeah, this kind of freaks me out too.
Shark Week starts next week.
Oh, does it start next week?
Dang it!
I guess this is a little bit of a sneak peek of what's to come later because we saw these massive group of nurse sharks just chilling on a rock, along with that huge stingray. So kind of transitioning into the next area, they had a bunch of these little small tanks. They're just kind of displays of kind of invertebrates and things. I mean, no ecosystem can thrive, whether it's, on land or in water without the cleanup crew decomposing all the waste pretty much. I mean, they had everything from crabs to shrimp to these rope noodle fish things. They even had these cute little micro seahorses. I thought this was the cutest thing I've ever seen. Oh, don't even get me started on the touch tank experience. So I have to note that this is the most ethical touch tank I have ever seen because it is completely the animal's choice. It is up to them if they come towards you. They have so much space that's not human interactable. It really, really is great, but then this happens. Oh, no. This didn't happen once. We were here for probably 30 minutes just trying to pet a stingray.
Yo, these guys are fake, bro.
I can say hard work does pay off, though, because we eventually got to pet them. I just didn't record it because I got too locked in on trying to get one.
Just keep
Yo, Hoodie's dead. Look at this one.
It's still binding, but it's not fallible.
I did not know they had penguins here, and I certainly did not know they would all be at the glass just bobbing and dancing with people. It was so funny. These are actually African penguins, and they're from the coastal area of South Africa, which is much, much warmer than the climate you typically associate with penguins. And super sad, these guys are critically endangered due to habitat loss and all sort of different environmental factors in Africa. And the Audubon Aquarium is one of the leading conservation projects with these guys, and they've had several successful breeding projects. I think one of the cutest things is they all have these little name tags, like this is Dumpty right here around their wings, and it's so funny. I'm sure that really helps the keepers identify which penguin is which and keep up with their health and all the other things that come with that. And we happened to get here right at the perfect time because it was feeding time. I did not expect these guys to be such great swimmers, and watching them just absolutely fly in the water to get their food and stuff, it was such an incredible sight. I mean, we really did sit here for probably 30 to 40 minutes just watching these guys eat and dart across the water. It was just so fascinating. I have so much penguin footage, so for the sake of the video, we're going to move on to the next thing. Before that, I completely forgot I had this footage, so I'm actually inserting this in after the fact. I just really wanted to note, look at how personable the penguins are to the keepers. They're getting hand-fed, they're taking notes, checking in on them. It's awesome.
I saw a penguin eat a fish.
I saw a penguin.
I saw a penguin eating fish. My God, wait, they're like rainbow scales, bro.
I know we've seen so much already, but we're not even halfway through the video. So the next section of the Audubon Aquarium tends to be this Amazon, super tropical. We're getting into some super, super exotic fish. They had all different kinds of species here, and I'm kind of zooming past a couple of these mainly because I didn't catch the signs. I was so amped up after the penguins, I low-key forgot that I was recording a video. So any of my fish gurus out there, if you're watching this video and you're enjoying, you should comment below what you know about these guys. I'd be super interested to know more about them, as, you know, I didn't get to catch the signs, which is kind of the main point about coming to these places.
Dude, it is awesome in here. You can literally like see the mist, like the humidity. Like that.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
God, dog, that's a lot of cichlids. I mean, I knew a lot of these guys could be kept together, but oh my goodness, this whole waterfall tank, this huge tank just filled. I could not even imagine how they maintained the bioload in this tank. And I got this weird feeling I was being watched, so I looked up and there are just live birds flying around. Like, this place really is just a tropical rainforest everywhere you look. After admiring this waterfall a little more, we decided to continue on down the path, and the next tank blew my mind. This dart frog terrarium was so pretty. Ironically enough, my dream for the 90-gallon cube back home at the sanctuary is to become a dart frog terrarium just like this. Of course, a rescue would have to come my way for them, but if it does, I will be turning that 90-gallon cube into that. Speaking of the sanctuary, next week's video is going to involve everything with our 3 new rescues. So that's going to be 3 tank builds, the pickup, the everything from beginning to end involving our next 3 animals to the sanctuary. So make sure you have your notifications on. Make sure you're subscribed. You won't want to miss it. And yeah. They had this massive silver dollar tank. I thought this was the coolest fish ever. I've never seen them with the yellow spots like that before, so I thought that was neat. Pretty simple tank and a pretty simple fish, just cool together, you know?
Yeah!
Are these talking? What they are? Look at the catfish behind the red tail.
Look at his look at his teeth. He's a little chubby.
Oh my god, they're the size of us, bro. Look at that monster.
If you couldn't tell, I don't see these monster fish very often, despite how involved I am with the animal industry. I mean, for Pacu to get this large, and for even the red tail like catfish hybrids they have to get this large, it just takes so much effort and energy. It's just unfathomable to even think about.
Oh, wait, that's so pretty. It looks like he has Japanese text on his.
Do they have these in the rainforest?
I've seen these somewhere before.
Get a dance break.
Just walk right into like.
So as soon as you exit the tropical zone, you take this little escalator thing downstairs, and then you are immediately thrown into Mayan civilization. Like, I hope the camera does justice, because the aquascaping and the attention to detail in every single one of these tanks was so fabulous. And each tank had such crazy fish. Like, look at this white stingray. Like, it's cow printed. It looks like Oreo. It's crazy.
Like, you can't even like fathom how big this is. Like, dude, this guy's shining.
Oh my god.
We have definitely exited freshwater land, because my goodness, you just know when you've reached a saltwater tank, because the fish get so crazy. Like, these guys were literally reflecting the sunlight back at me. Yet again, just a ton of insane tanks with a bunch of beautiful fish. I really have no clue what many of these fish were, as a lot of them were so filled. Like, even the displays, like the informational signs, couldn't even tell you what all the fish were, because there's so many different kinds. So yeah. 180 this time. We're back to seahorses, but this time we have the larger variety. They're not the little pygmy ones, and there were a lot of these guys, and they were all just kind of chilling out. Yet again, a ton of fish, ton of different species, and they all had custom tanks built for them. I can't express enough the attention to detail in every tank. The information that I did learn about these individual fish and themselves was directly matched in the tank, such as the fact that this guy down here loves to hide and is super skittish, and you see that in real time, and it's hence why they have a ton and a ton of cover. I really like the sunken treasure kind of vibe of this tank, and I didn't realize what all was in here until I glanced over and saw the tail of a giant eel. I'm assuming it's a moray eel of some sort, but yeah, he had to have been a monster. It never came out, but it had to have been huge. I do have to say, I think this cylinder tank was my favorite. I mean, that French angel that just passed was probably my favorite fish I saw in the entire building. One, this tank just checked the colorful fish box with me. Each fish was so unique, so different, and just so out there. And then the aquascape checked every other box. I mean, it was just perfect. There was hides everywhere built into the display for the fish that, like to hide in there. And it was just gorgeous and beautiful. All the shattered pottery and stuff everywhere. It just felt so natural and real. And you can't have an ocean part of an aquarium without the red lionfish. I'm sure, as we all are fully aware, these guys are so invasive, and they pretty much destroy any ecosystem they're incorporated into. But that doesn't make them evil, as humans are the reason they ended up being invasive in the first place. I was so focused on the lionfish next to me, I didn't even see the massive walk-through tunnel exhibit next to me. I mean, this is the tank that people would kill to see. I mean, just with all the schooling fish circling around, the stingrays, in big groups traveling, it's just so interesting to see. This tank was absolutely packed with these silver mirror fish, and it was so funny. But look at this guy. What? I mean, I have more footage from just this tank than I know what to do with, and this isn't even the main attraction or the biggest tank in this place. It's not even close to being the biggest tank in this place. Yet again, just insanely beautiful and insanely peaceful. And I could have stayed here all day, but we have so many more tanks to go see. So let's continue down the path and we'll move on from this one. And as soon as you turn the corner, they just casually have this massive tank here. I'm almost certain this is almost the exact same kind of tank setup they had at the very beginning at the Insectarium, which if you haven't watched that video, you probably should to go fill in some gaps. Yet again, not exactly what kind of fish I'm looking at right now. I didn't see a display anywhere about them, but cool tank, cool color, cool fish. I like what's going on here. I believe this is the second largest tank in the whole establishment. And this thing is just slammed full with schooling tarpon, which get so much bigger than I could have ever imagined. There was also this cool shark. There were a couple of them swimming around. I'm pretty sure it's just a black tip reef shark. But yeah, really cool tank. Then it was finally time for the largest tank in the establishment, the Gulf of America. This incredible tank is over 400,000 gallons of salt water. This tank is home to large numbers of various shark species. King Midas, the endangered green sea turtle we just pointed at, stingrays, and of course large schools of fish. You'll notice later on we even show video that it features a quarter-scale oil rig. I mean, what an incredible sight and privilege. There aren't many tanks in the world where you can just sit and stare at for the rest of eternity, but this is one of them. We sat and enjoyed for a while, but ultimately we had to move on. And move on indeed we did, because the first thing we saw were these moon jellyfish, and what a sight this was. Such a crazy, odd, and unique jellyfish species, but apparently you can get weirder because look at these guys. These are called upside down jellyfish, and this is their whole stick. They literally just float around and move across the surface and the water upside down. These guys definitely take the cake for the weirdest and most unique thing I saw at the aquarium because I had never even heard of this before.
Wait, where'd the exotic jellyfish go?
Let's go.
Wow, that's a nice jellyfish.
Hello? Who is that?
It's a jellyfish, bro.
Anyways, after checking out the big blue jellyfish, we then moved on to, I guess, sea anemones? Pretty much just a whole tank filled with different kinds of them. It's like the things from Nemo. And after Emma said goodbye to her friend Billy, it was unfortunately the time to leave. That was the entirety of the Audubon Aquarium in New Orleans. I'd say that was one successful trip to the aquarium, and I learned more than I ever fathomed I could have learned going to this place. And that's the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, what a video that was, and what a trip. If you're not subscribed again, make sure you subscribe. In 1 month, we have already crossed 100 subscribers. So for all of you that are subscribed, thank you so much. That's an incredible feat, and we are growing faster than 97% of YouTubers on this platform. So join the crew. Make sure you tune in next week for the rescue video. It is going to be the best video so far on the channel. I can guarantee it. I cannot thank you enough for watching, and I will see you next time you board the ARK. Bye-bye.